Hello everyone, Sean here, and welcome to this episode of the Hawke Talks. Today I wanted to talk about not only the sort of outrage or just disappointment and negative impressions on Kokomi, but of course, most importantly, the anniversary event that has come out for this current sort of time window or event for Genshin Impact. We've reached that point. It's already the first year anniversary. Players like myself have been just sticking around for this game for that long. Time flies, and I still love the game for what it is. It's definitely one of my favorites as of right now. I've been playing it, pretty much like from day one, actively, and I've been logging in every day, doing dailies and doing most of the events throughout the year. And for what it is, I still really like it. I like the characters, I like the gameplay side of things. It's one of those things that has been able to keep me going, despite the shortcomings that we've seen throughout the year. I still really like it for what it is, and so I was really looking forward to the first anniversary of what they're going to do with it, just like anyone else, and we're met with a lot of disappointments. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of things, I wanted to remind you guys to like and subscribe, because it really helps out for many or all the YouTube channels, including this one. So I really do appreciate it if you guys can do that. Of course, feel free to comment below of what we talked about for this video. Let's get Kokomi out of the way, and I'll try to keep this short and sweet. But yeah, overall, I already said that I'm skipping on this banner. For the most part, I'll probably sprinkle some wishes just for some giggles, but otherwise, I'm definitely not gonna go all in on this banner like I did with Raiden Shogun and Kujo Sara, who are gone at this point and has been replaced with this one. She just came out today as I record this video, so yeah. Kokomi, again, I've already said that I'm gonna skip her because her looks and aesthetics and personalities and everything else. Character-wise, she doesn't really warrant me to do so, but yeah, it really seems like that's the best thing to do because of her gameplay mechanics. She doesn't really add anything to the table. She's doing what Barbara does, and in a way, Barbara does them better than her, in some degree. Especially the cost. If you compare the costs of these two, side by side, really, if you really think about it, Barbara is the better investment, in my opinion, really. But Kokomi is just someone who isn't gonna add too much to the table because she doesn't have any burst heal, and her mechanics won't work unless you're within range of the enemy. But if you're range of the enemy can hit you for sure. Sorry if I'm talking pretty fast on that part, but basically, you have to be in the fray of things in order to make Kokomi work when you don't want to be, when you're healing, because there are times where you want to go far and heal up, recover for your entire team, and there are times where you have to do that in an instant. And Kokomi, I don't think can do that. She provides the jellyfish, which you have to be within the AoE, which is not too big, in order for her to be healed and also for the rest of the team to be healed through switching. You have to switch to that character and then have that character be healed that way. Now, yes, it's good chunks of health, depending on how you build her, but doesn't really work too well on paper, because you have to be, in real application, because you have to be within that radius. As with Barbara, you can pop her skill, and you can attack with Barbara to heal with the team, but you can also passively heal just over time. You don't have to be within an AoE or anything like that. It's just that ring that you have around your character. You switch to that character, and then they heal over time, anywhere. So not only that, if you have the right book or catalyst for Barbara, that character can receive an attack buff. That's all thanks to a 3-star weapon, which is the Thrilling of the Dragon Slayer, I believe it's called. But it's that 3-star book, and it really works well with Barbara because Barbara is based off of HP. Any main stat for the sub stat or whatever you call it for the 3-star book, catalyst, whatever, is based off of HP percentage. So it really works well with Barbara, and you're rewarded for, well, what you're supposed to be doing with Barbara, which is switching off right away. So yeah, you get attack buff for that. So that's very, very fulfilling in that sense. So it's all that's already more than enough reasons for putting your time and resources into Barbara over Kokomi, because Barbara has a burst that can instantaneously heal everyone just like that, in a snap, bringing most of their health back if they're like really low too, and you don't have to like switch or anything like that. So Barbara is really good in that sense, and and Kokomi can't do that, even with her burst. Her burst is essentially Barbara's skill, which is to be able to attack and heal, for the team, even if they're on the field and anything like that. And so that's her burst. So you're hoping for a 5-star character to have this like crazy burst of sorts, especially when you have to put that many gems into trying to get like 5-star character in the first place. But she's only doing what Barbara does with her skill, a 4-star character with that skill. So that's already like, that sounds pretty bad on paper, just from saying that, it sounds pretty bad. And it is bad especially over time, because you have to be within the range of the enemy in order for Kokomi to work most effectively, but you don't want to be within the range of the enemy because, you're gonna be dead, especially if it's during like these crazy abyss, levels and such, these, the really ridiculous ones. And over time, you never know what MiHoYo does with these events and such, with the crazy bosses. They can only be more crazy, I guess. And they're gonna have some really crazy like AoE attacks that could potentially kill somebody or the entire team, if you're not too careful. Or abyss levels where, and it's already happening. You already have abyss levels where certain effects can over time drain your health, so you need something to instantaneously heal them in order to save them in key moments to, well, get through the abyss level. And Kokomi can't do that. She can only heal in chunks, and sometimes that can't be enough for the team, in key moments. And so with that alone, Kokomi isn't helpful there. And not only that, it seems like they really want to make Kokomi this like DPS hybrid as well, with that burst, because her attacks, I guess, becomes more powerful based off of HP, right? That there is done right at least, but she has some avocations, of course. But but for a 5-star character where you're gonna dump your gems, and for some people, you're not going to be able to get Kokomi, right? Because of the 50-50 guarantee, or 50-50 pity. They could get cucked out on that one. So even if you do manage to get Kokomi from the guarantee pity, which takes you more than 100 wishes, right? Let's just say, and at the max 180, because 90 and 90, not 80 and 80. Because, for some reason, a lot of people think at 80 summons they can get her. Just because I got her, or I got that character at 80 summons, that doesn't mean, doesn't mean that you guys can get her or whatever character at 80 summons. Anyway, I digress. Point being, you have to dump so much resource and time for Kokomi for only her to be as good as a 4-star character potentially, But but there's always that possibility of Kokomi being buffed, randomly by MiHoYo, with whatever, right? There's so many things wrong with Kokomi, especially with the whole thing with like the crit rate being negative. Therefore, you're gonna miss out on crit damage. You know what I mean? So having Kokomi on your team, you're already gonna miss out on damage. So you're not gonna use her for DPS. Her healing, I don't think is gonna be good as Barbara's, for example. Again, especially with the time and resources that you put into both of these characters. You're better off with Barbara, again, over time, because she's a 4-star character, you'll get her somewhere. and I don't think she requires that as much resource as you would with a 5-star character. I think I can be wrong, but overall, the investment, you know, you get I believe you get so much more with Barbara than you can with Kokomi. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you can stack all this HP on Kokomi and see if she works and such, and have the right artifact sets and stuff like that. Like I would do like a healing effectiveness sort of heavy build for Kokomi if I had her in my roster, but I'd rather just try to build Barbara, because I already have her with that. She has like a couple of constellations, right? So she can definitely fulfill Kokomi's role, you know, well enough. So, and not only that, I have a nuke heal, which Kokomi lacks. If she can, you know, bring that to the table, on top of like something else sort of interesting as well, then yeah, I mean, she's definitely a 5-star character, you know, absolutely, you know, and you would hope that would have been a thing, but not so much. She doesn't get higher damage or anything like that. It's just, you know, I mean, her damage becomes based off of HP, I guess, when she activates her burst. So it's just really weird, because they're just trying to make her. It seems like they're trying to make her this DPS when she's supposed to be a healer, but she really doesn't do much good on both ends. So yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure there are people who explain this a little better with Kokomi, but overall, Kokomi is just seems like to be the worst 5-star unit that has come out in a long time, just because of all those things. You know, you're better off with you know, these DPS characters and then Barbara, you know, and you're better off there than you would trying to fit, you know, Kokomi into the team with good artifacts and all those resources right over time, especially with the gems. You know, that's just, you know, it's such a waste there, but in a sense. I mean, if you do really like Kokomi from her personality and her aesthetics and her lore and the character stuff, right? Then by all means you have the right to pull for her and then potentially try to make her work. But I don't know if she can work versus someone else, you know? So yeah, especially with the gems, man, like that and everything else, you know? So I really don't know how she can bring something to the table that cheaper characters would be able to do with less resources and stuff like that. So it's just hard to say. So overall, I mean, this whole thing is a disappointment, because on top of that, the anniversary event isn't too helpful either, because we're not getting like a massive dump of gems or anything like that. It's just so meager comparing to all the other anniversary events that we've gotten with other gacha games over time. This is probably by far the worst one I've seen, you know, and this is just the first year anniversary. I mean, I've seen better first year anniversary events from other gacha games than this. This is absolutely just hogwash and just garbanzo beans, you know what I mean? Like, this is just garbaje, you know? But it's just bad overall, like, because there's a lot of things you have to work for just for a chance to get these meager prizes, right? Like, the best prize for one of them is just resin, I think. Why who thought this was right? This was the right thing to do for, you know, the first anniversary for a huge game, a huge phenomenon. This is like one of the most like popular games, of course on mobile, but just games in general, right? And in recent times, Genshin Impact has made a huge impression on a lot of players. And, you know, I've been playing for an entire year, and I do really like it for what it is. And, you know, a lot of people have stuck around for it and were rewarded with this. It's a huge disappointment, you know, and we don't even have a guaranteed banner. We can't choose any of the base 5-star characters like Jean, Diluc, so on and so forth, Mona, right? So on and so forth. It's just so disappointing in that sense. Like, it's such a slap in the face for people who stuck around for the entire year. And there's already been people that have been moving on to another game, and yeah, man, it sucks. I mean, I still like it for what it is, but man, it's it doesn't help here for what they've been doing. So, they have a contest with cosplayers, right? And when you want to cosplay it right, it's gonna cost you time, money, effort, right? And these prizes I don't think they warrant that. They don't cover that in a sense. Because one of the biggest ones is just like what, some Primo gems, right? And then the other one is like what, AirPods, and then some Razer keyboard or mouse or something like that, accessory, something like that. A lot of people have been complaining about that with that same comment about the time, money, and effort. That doesn't cover it at all. It's like, it's such a slap in the face, and the more I talk about it, I feel all the more disappointed. The other ones are web events and all the other stuff adds all together to like just a couple of gems, just a handful of gems, and that's it. And it's not even a guaranteed summon of sorts. Wow, that's just what is this what really MiHoYo is gonna do for this anniversary event? Everyone's been like looking forward to it, thinking that we're gonna get some sort of guaranteed banner and maybe possibly choose a base 5-star character, and or just like at least be guaranteed a random 5-star character from a special banner of sorts. But no, absolutely not. And it sucks. But shame. It's a huge missed opportunity for MiHoYo to really look good, to really make it show that they support the players, and it sucks. It's such a disappointment. I'm absolutely underwhelmed, just like anyone else, most of the player base right now. Not only we get this like banner with a 5-star character that doesn't really seem impressive overall, we have an anniversary event that's just beyond unimpressive. We've been looking forward to it all year, and we're gonna get some like raffles, man, lotteries, really? Good gosh. So yeah, that's all I can say before I keep rambling. But yeah, overall I'm disappointed, and of course the banner is also just hard to say that it's a good banner to roll on, really. The 4-star characters are good. I mean, they're okay. I mean, there's Xingqiu, that's the best you can get, and then Rosaria, and then Beto, who is a character that needs fixing, and then there's Kokomi, and then there's the subpar ass freaking subpar event, man, which is the anniversary. Man, I have no more words. So thank you guys so much for tuning in for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to comment about the Kokomi banner and or the anniversary event, go ahead and leave me down below how you guys feel about it. But I'm definitely disappointed. I am just displeased with what they have for us players who stuck around for the entire year, man. Like, it's thanks to the players, the content creators, the people who just wanted to play this game because they love it. And I do love it because the characters, the story it has so far, but things like that, all these things are going to add up potentially to make people fall off, and it'd be such a damn shame because it's such a cool game, like the exploration, just the overall premise, right? We potentially won't get to see like the end game of or where the main character's story goes, you know what I mean? So that'd be a damn shame. But it is possible because all these things that MiHoYo decides to do. There's already people falling off, there's already like the big content creators that are falling off. But yeah, MiHoYo is already getting that much money, and it seems like they just don't care as much. Money talks and all that stuff. I mean, they already got my $50 because, you know, I decided to put that down because, you know, hey, that's the price of a game, and I'm okay with that, and I don't regret that purchase at all. You know, and you know, there's probably gonna be a time where I do want to put another $50 down. That'll be $100 overall, which is, well, money I'd spent for a game with DLC and season passes and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I mean, well, it all depends on where this game is at that point. Hopefully by the time like Yai Miko comes out and stuff like that, like maybe things will be better, but that's a little too soon to say. So anyway, all right, I'll let you guys go. Sorry about that. And I just want to say thank you very much for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next video for this from the Talks video. All right, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Sean out.